I didn't have the idea of Guilty Chef, whatever, it wasn't even a thing. Like I was just doing it on my Instagram, but people would always ask like the recipes. And I would notice like of all the content I would post, people just, my DMs were just influx with like people, I would have an influx of people asking for the recipes. And I had no way of getting it to them. So it was so crazy because again, it was similar to an obstacle by this time last year because we just had Caden and he was about a week old and my mother-in-law had moved in with us for a few months to help us at home. And then like, you know, I had to build up the courage, said, Shaz, listen, I know you got a new baby, but I need to be out for a week. So we hired this house, obviously I had a couple people there helping as well, and we just filmed these recipes, and the whole theory was, look, if you just put it online into like a little, it was literally just a shabby website, so basic, with like one payment link, and I didn't know what to charge people or how to even do it, and we just put it together and put it out, and I was just, you know, taken aback, man, like, first of all, how many people engaged with it. Then we launched the Instagram and that just like shot up in followers in like 2 weeks. And it was all, you know, more than I even, you know, imagined. So that was exciting. And over the last year, I've just been using the Instagram of the Guilty Chef to just post as I'm doing, because the good thing about it is just a hobby. It's such a relaxed thing for me because there's no like thought process behind it. There's no planning. There's no like business structure, none of that. It's just, and that's, sorry, that's different to what I'm normally used to working on because everything has to be so planned and organized. But this is like, I just do it because I have the kids, I'm a husband, you know, I'm young. So like, you know, I want to be able to look after them all. And I enjoy cooking. And I think all of that together has helped people gravitate towards it. And then, yeah, then we end up with the plan for this year, which was supposed to be a proper house and all that. But yeah, so then this year, so what happened is we had booked and paid for an entire place where I was gonna go there with a production team and stay there for 5 days. It was in like King's Cross. And we're gonna film like this beautiful setting, like we had all these plans for like, we were hiring equipment, everything. And then, you know, the week, the lockdown happened the day before we were supposed to start shooting. Luckily, I booked on the final day on which Airbnb, which we booked through, were offering refunds to everyone. So they offered us a full refund, which was great. And then you couldn't even book, you still can't book any places in London now. So you couldn't even rebook. So I couldn't even plan it forward. And I was like, oh man. So then, you know, we're so lucky, like, we're freshly grounded. We have all this production equipment at the studio because we use it for our episodes. So then that was perfect, man. I was like, let me go get it and then just test this thing out. And then, you know, again, at my house, I don't have the island thing to look out on. And then we tried different ways of doing it. But there was a few obstacles. One, main one being the fact that there's no production team. So no one can edit it. No one can sit there manning cameras. So do I have one camera? And I don't want to compromise. So we had 3 cameras set up with like a live switcher that allows you to cut cameras. And I've got this screen, this TV here, which looks out onto the kitchen. So I put all the cameras up on there so I could see all the views. And then I'm just presenting to the camera and I'm just cutting camera 1, 2, 3 as I'm going. So one's on me, one's on the chopping board, one's on the pan. And it took me a couple. So initially I just made like a fried egg just to test it. I did a couple just to like get going. And then by the end, when I put it all together, I myself was really impressed. I was like, man, this is great that you can do this just by being in your home. And then when I'm watching shows, because you know, often when you watch, especially TV cookery shows, they have such big crews. Like, if you watch the credits, there's so many people. And sometimes, I'm not saying you don't need them, but I do think we often, you know, with the big ideas, like could be building an app, it could be putting together this type of content, it could be anything anyone's thinking of doing right now. We naturally just block ourselves out. Oops, sorry, I didn't put my phone on airplane mode. Sorry, bro. There you go. We naturally block ourselves out because we think the status quo overrides what we think our kind of instincts of how we can do something. So, you know, you'd think, oh my gosh, our app costs this much to build, it takes this long. There's so many steps in place. Okay, to build a production in your kitchen takes this many people, set designers and cameramen. But then if you boil it all down, and I think what we've learned, like what you do with your podcast is a prime example. You are the only asset you need, you know. Of course, it's much more of a benefit to have other people, but you yourself can do so much independently. And I love doing these kind of little projects because it allows me to constantly come back to that kind of foundation of like making yourself as resourceful as possible and proving that you can do these things when you want and however you want. So
Yeah.
that was exciting, man. Yeah, just in itself as a process.